Hi Aquarius, it's Elle here to do a very different reading. This reading will talk to you about your 12 astrological houses. So we have 12 cards here, so each card will correspond to all 12 astrological houses, okay? So this will help give you some insight, maybe in regards to yourself, just a little bit, maybe how other people look at you or see you. More so for self, and at the end we'll try to clarify some things if need be, if we need to do that, okay? So let's jump into it. So we have the first house, and we have the Knight of Pentacles for the first house. So this is about self, your appearances, your body, just beginnings, first impressions. So Aquarius, what this says is that how you may come off to others is a bit standoffish, not in terms of shyness or trying to set yourself apart because of, but more so you're observant. You're really trying to figure out and calculate, should you invest your hard work, your energy, your time into whatever, or into a person. This is how people see you. This is how your attitude comes off. Your identity, to others, and maybe even to yourself, is one who really evaluates, one who is hardworking, who can buckle down and get things done, but one who doesn't fully commit just so easily, because this is a person who's going to really weigh up the cost. Okay, so that's how you approach life. That might be your attitude. That's your identity, maybe for yourself and how others see you. Okay, so the second house talks about money, work, income, your possessions and daily routines. So you've got the Ace of Swords. Okay, so Aquarius, you may have had a rough start, a challenging start in money and work, just earning an income, but it looks like you're coming out on the other side, which is victory, being victorious in your money, your work, your income sector. Some of you, so this would be maybe early on you struggled with money. Maybe you were able to make money, just weren't so great at keeping the money, maintaining, some level, some status quo, for yourself, whatever that may be. Some of you may have struggled with your work ethic. You may have been dedicated initially, and then it quickly turned into, I don't want to do this, or being very lax with how you were earning income, how you were bringing in money, what you were doing to sustain yourself in terms of, the tangible money, your pentacle. So for some of you, your work ethic may have struggled initially in the beginning of your life, let's say early teens, 20s, maybe even 30s. But now you're at a place of really isolating the issue, whatever that could have been or was or is for you. And now you're coming out on the other side. So example would be, maybe your work ethic sucked. Maybe you were given very good opportunity and you performed and well, and you produced. But then there comes a time where you kind of get a little lax in your previous production, in what you had done or what you have done, or I used to get here on time, but now I've been a little late, you know, for, you know, extended amount of time here. But so what? So what if I'm late? I'm still getting my work done. I'm still, you know, so maybe this is more so you isolating issues so that you can become victorious, which it looks like you are or you will be. So for some of you who are in a place of trying to figure out, just know you'll have victory there. So the third house is the Nine of Pentacles for you. Your mind, how you think, your communication, maybe even how you deal with siblings, social activity, your interest, maybe even neighbors. The Nine of Pentacles. So Aquarius, very autonomous, very individual. You think. So this is how your mind works, Aquarius. You don't want to give input, communicate unless you have knowledge, because the nines talk about knowledge and learning, higher learning. So Aquarius is not Aquarius is, but Aquarius is a person who doesn't want to speak without knowledge, because we know that's what a fool does. A fool speaks and has no knowledge of. So the Aquarius, in their communication skills, they want to have learned whatever it is, right? And their mind works in a very individualistic way. Like Aquarius is able to compartmentalize things and maybe separate themselves or isolate issues so that communication can be broken down also. So that's how Aquarius communicates, and that's how the mind works here. Maybe even with siblings, you feel like you're the individual, you're the odd man out or the odd woman, I don't know, or you just feel like you're not. The Nine of Pentacles is a person who's not running with the pack. If anything, this is a person who could turn the people into being their pack, but you come up as a Nine of Pentacles, you're not even interested in that. You don't want people following behind you. Very individualistic. You may have learned this early on that you needed to do for yourself, and that's how you just really cultivated an air of the Nine of Pentacles, of how you communicate, how you come off, maybe even in social activities. You're a part of the group, but you're not a part of the group. Only an Aquarius will get that, but very individual in how you think and how your mind works. Some of you early on in grade school or whatnot, you didn't need a whole bunch of coddling or tutoring. You could pick up on things rather easy, or it's that you wanted to do it by yourself. You want to learn it alone. You don't want to be in a group setting, or you don't need a whole bunch of tutoring, because for you, that would stifle someone with this type of energy in their third house, okay? So let's move on. So in the fourth house, we have the World. Very good cards, Aquarius. The fourth house talks about the home, roots, family, self-care, emotions, your foundations, mother, children, women, femininity. Cancer rules the fourth house, that zodiac sign. The World. So it looks like some of you going to a new chapter in your life. Like this is the last card in the tarot, so something's over. Like some of you could be becoming empty nesters. The children are going into another phase. You're going into another phase. Maybe you can put more time, energy into what you want to do. Yourself, excuse me, your self-care. I just had lunch, sorry. Your emotions. Maybe you get into a place where you're able to really examine your emotions. I know only an Aquarius would want to examine their emotions. Yeah. When you get into a place where you're actually allowing yourself to feel. And maybe you can do that because it looks like a new chapter is opening up for you. Some of you are moving your home, moving across waters, moving really far. You're uprooting yourself because it's new. It's just a new chapter. Your family could be uprooting your family. Or if you're dealing with an Aquarius, they could be uprooting you. You're going into a whole new sector in terms of femininity. Maybe it didn't mean anything to you in the last 20 years, 21 years. And now maybe it means so much to you to really examine, once again, your femininity. Are you using it? Have you used it? What is it? Let's define it. Let's try to isolate what it is and how we can use it. So you're really at a place of going into the next phase there. Some of your foundations can be, I heard rocked, but I'm feeling like it's a good rocked. Like, okay, I have to move, but now I'm going to move into my dream house, or I get to travel, or I get to be a nomad. I don't know. Some of you are just really going into a different phase in terms of what is foundational in your life. Now you get to recreate, redecorate the foundation, if you will. So that's really good here. The 5th house. Wow, the Empress. Aquarius, this is just so good. I don't want to jinx it. The Empress in the 5th house, this talks about love, romance, affairs, love affairs, playfulness, creativity, fertility. Wow. And you have the Empress. Childlike spirit, joy, self-expression. Even talks about drama. Gemini is a zodiac sign that governs the 5th house, that rules the 5th house. So could be dealing with the Gemini. I don't know. But wow, I'm just kind of floored at the fact that you have the Empress in the 5th house. So the Empress is Venus ruled. The 5th house talks about love affairs and romance. It looks like you're getting a lot of attention, that people are drawn to you. There's a sense of magnetism. People are just drawn to you. You're like a magnet, like a moth to a flame. People are wanting to be in love affairs with you. There might even be a little borderline addiction. Some people may even be addicted to your energy, addicted to you, addicted to having you in their life. You have the Empress is in the 5th house and creativity. Like she can create something from nothing. Like she sits on a throne created by herself in the midst of the wilderness. So this is very big for you. If fertility was an issue in terms of reproducing another human being, it looks like it's going to turn over for you, or it has already turned over for you. You're very fertile in terms of creation. You can create. How you are expressing yourself. First of all, self-expression. Look at how she's dressed. Some of you are dressing different. You're really expressing yourself and your creativity, and you're really taking no prisoners, and you really just, some of you kind of held yourself back, and now you're just going to really, some of you could be even dressing very dramatic. dressing how you want to dress, doing what you want to do, expressing yourself, maybe very eccentric to others. It could just be, it could feel right at home for you. Just really a lot of drama here. The good and the bad, right? Really dramatic in your dealings, in your communication, in your self-expression. So this is really good. Maybe even in your love. Romance was going to look good for you, and you'll have a lot of suitors, or at least people admiring you. If they step up, they step up. If they don't, they don't. You're catching the eye of many, okay? The sixth house, okay? We have the Two of Swords, okay? Okay, not bad. The sixth house talks about health, finance, systems, your analytical nature, pets, work habits, organization, sense of usefulness and service given. Some of you are a little confused about where am I useful? Where could I be of more service to in my life? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this healthy for me? Does it fit? Am I concerned about my own health and fitness? There's a lot of confusion, or there's something you're not seeing, okay? It might be because you're not allowing yourself to feel. Therefore, there is confusion in the mind. Some of you, health, fitness, and systems, and your analytical nature. Like some of you are analyzing maybe a little too much, where it's making you, analysis paralysis, or you just don't move. They overanalyze and gone over this and looked at that, and I thought about this, and then they said this, and then it gets you to a place where you're just stuck. And that could be how you're feeling in your health and fitness, maybe in different systems in your life, or something being systemic or systematic. Your work habits, you just don't know. If some of you are at a place, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if I want to be a part of this organization or this disorganization. I don't know if there's usefulness for me here. What service am I giving? I'm not being of service to, you fill in the blank. So it has you really questioning and paralyzed in your thoughts. Try to feel more. How do you feel? How's your body feel when you're around different people, or in different areas or different buildings? Let your body do the talking for you. Let your heart and your mind, let it run wild, because then you can make up your mind about what it is you need to do, how you need to move, if you just allow yourself to feel, okay? Because that moon is here. And it talks about deep emotions, suppressed emotions, okay? The seventh house, we have, wow, we got the King of Cups. Okay, all right. So some of you could be dealing with the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Doesn't have to be, could even be Libra here, Libra male. Seventh house talks about relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, equality, sharing, your interpersonal style, okay? King of Cups. I see the crab here. Could be Cancer. And then I'm also picking up on Scorpio. I don't know. Your relationships. So the King of Cups is all about balance. Balancing the emotions. He has so many that he has to really compartmentalize the emotions and And he has to stay balanced at all times. A little different from the Queen of Cups, who just is trying to remain emotionally stable. You know, she didn't want to destabilize and, you know, fly off the handle. The King of Cups is more so, I'm over, you know, being emotionally stable. I just need to always have these emotions in check, in balance. My checks in balance. This makes for a good doctor, someone who has to present bedside manner. I don't know why that came up, but that's just that. Some of you could be dealing with someone who's Muslim or of a different ethnicity. In your relationships, with the King of Cups coming up, they want to tell you balance, checks and balance in your marriage, in your relationships, in your contracts. Balance. Am I doing too much of? Am I doing too little of? Should I give something compassion here? Should I give a little love over here? Maybe I'll sprinkle a little concern over here. But I'm definitely not going to dump the whole box of concern over here, because then it would be out of balance, right? I have dumped concern too much into one thing. So, and a real life example in, especially with the seventh house dealing with relationships, marriage, contracts, your style is, they want you to maybe either aspire to be, or you're dealing with someone who is very balanced. You, Aquarius, might fall in love, and then because you don't examine your feelings, your emotions, you become very unbalanced. I need to be with this person all the time. I need to shower them with gifts. I need to express my emotions all the time. Or I need to express myself all the time. Or give. You see how many times you give, but then there's no take. So in the seventh house, they want you to be able to also be a taker, because it'll always feel out of balance and out of whack when you're always the giver, or vice versa. If you're always the taker, you're never giving. It'll always be, unbalanced. It'll always be out of whack. So in your dealings with others, business partners, relationships, marriage, don't just keep giving and saying, well, I've given so much, they have to love me, they have to like me. Or it might even be that they love and like you. Now it's a question of respect and regard. You keep giving to a situation where the other person isn't giving. How much do you respect yourself? How are they supposed to hold you in high regard when you allow this to happen? So balance, Aquarius. Balance in your relationships, and then you'll start to see that it works smoothly, or smoother, if that's a word. It'll just flow. Okay, so the eighth house. Okay, Five of Swords in the eighth house. Merging, sex, intimacy, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, property, joint ventures, goals. Just the overall mystery and your partner's resources. Okay. So for some of you, there has been interference, a setback, reversal here in your eighth house, in mergers. I'm hearing Aquarius always feels as if they get the short end of the stick. They get the raw deal when it comes to shared things. shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans. It's either the Aquarius has to be underhanded and sneaky in order to get the victory, or this is what someone or some entity has always, Aquarius has felt like they've always been on the receiving end of that. Some of you could have gone into business with others, joint ventures. Right now, it's just not a place of that because it'll always be one-upmanship. Well, what are they doing? Well, I have to do it better. I have to be the first to the finish line. In a business partnership, think about that. If you take on that mindset in anything, it's just not going to work because there's always going to be, and then there's lack of trust here. Some of you could have received inheritance, and then there was talk, very negative talk about you receiving it. Maybe you were the beneficiary, and you were in charge of delegating. Delegating the properties, some of the assets. People hated you or hate you for that. And it really wasn't your choice. You didn't choose it. You kind of inherited it. Shared finances, short end of the stick always. You feel like there's a competition going on here, whether it's stated or unstated. Like, it's unconscious or it's conscious. In sex, you feel, some of you may even feel slighted in sexual manners, in sexual encounters. Maybe you're always the one giving, or you just aren't being satisfied, or this is about domination. Either you don't want to be dominated and you have to, once again, I got to be first to do this or do that, or I'll make them, climax before me, or I don't know, something about domination. It can be, I'm hearing a little sadistic. I don't know, Aquarius. Intimacy. You feel like I can't let anyone get that close to me, because then it's going to be a rivalry. It's going to be unbridled ambition. Like, I'm going to win at all costs. Doesn't matter what I have to do. I'm going to, or you feel like someone will do this to you. They'll demolish me if they knew my very intimate thoughts. Some of my sexual desires. You feel like someone could destroy you, or they would destroy you, or they talk bad about you, or you would just, very, very heavy energy here in your mergers. And maybe that's why some of the mergers you've had in this lifetime have not gone so well, or they're not going so well, because there's a unbridled ambition. There's a win at all costs type of energy that you're carrying with yourself, or somebody is. You're always meeting others who are like this, who are always jealous, who are always trying to one up you, and now you think this is what life is in terms of partnerships, mergers. You always feel like you have to fight for it, whatever it is. Okay. Moving right along. The 9th house. Very nice. Ace of Cups. I could see that in your 9th house. The ninth house talks about travel, wisdom, philosophy, higher education, law and religion, cross-cultural relations, learning, and ethics. Aquarius is always wanting to learn something new, to be filled with spirit, with emotion, devotion to having wisdom, and creating their own philosophy. Aquarius may learn and create philosophy through new partnerships, new friendships. Yeah. Creating a code of ethics for themselves and kind of instituting it through their actions. Always open to learn about other cultures and wanting to be able to dive into that, or at least say I have experienced, because it just adds to the education, maybe even your philosophy, your self philosophy, your wisdom. This just says that, and you're always looking to travel. It just says that you're always looking for new that stirs the soul, that adds to the book of your own life. So this is very good. Ace of Cups in the ninth house, always open. You want your cup to be so full, okay, here, of knowledge and knowledge of and knowledge. This is some of you just, you're on a personal journey to know yourself, know thyself, you're learning about yourself through life and experience in life, and creating your own philosophy, creating your own little antidotes and ethics. Yeah. The 10th house. Very nice. The Hierophant. The Hierophant. This talks about career, long-term goals, structure, status, your reputation, public image, masculinity, the men in your life, the fathers, the experts. Even can talk about fame, okay? The Hierophant. You see there's two people here. Well, there's three. 4. Okay. Anyway. And he does that symbol that you see with most people who have acquired some level of philosophy and wisdom in their life. Higher education where they can guide others. A trusted guide. In your career, you might just be the boss, okay? And then for some of you, you could be the guide. And then for some of you could be the boss and the guide, okay? And some of you'll get that. For a lot of you, the men in your life play a really significant role, and they were, the reputation was very, very pristine, prestigious. Maybe some of the new men that come into your life, it's hard to live up to, your dad or your grandfather. There's a lot of rule and regiment here with you in your career and your long-term goals. You feel like you can only get to where you want to be, to this goal achievement, if you do. And you've created that rule and regimen for yourself. And it looks like it's gotten you to a place of a lot of structure where you have status. I think your reputation is good. If it's in a community of people, it's definitely good. Uh, it's good in your career amongst others. Men in your life, men that you've encountered, some could have really helped you. Some of you have acquired fame and fortune through guidance. Yeah. You guide. You are the guide. You are the seer. You can teach someone how to. I don't know, very interesting. So in your career and long-term goals, you may have had a mentor, or it just says that you've been very structured, and there's been a lot of rule and regimen alongside of maybe religion or spirituality. Some of you have worked for large companies, and it has brought you a lot of structure and status, maybe even fame. Your public image is good, and it's one that you are a leader and a guide for some of you. Even if you're a woman, you exude a lot of masculine undertones, to where, once again, you're a good guide, you're a good leader. People come to you because they want, like I said, how to. Like if you Google how to, I can't, mine has gone blank. My mind has gone blank. How to make a pillow, sew a pillow. You know, there's steps, right? So people come to you because they want to know the steps, because there's a lot of rule and regimen that you have, okay? They feel like you know how to guide them too. You know, okay. The 11th house, where are we? 37 minutes. Okay. The 11th house, wow. 3 of Cups, very nice. This talks about groups, friends, social awareness, humanitarianism, technology, hopes, wishes, in the future. Okay, so the Aquarius rules the 11th house, and that's why you may have a lot of friends, or a lot of people know you, but you only know 5 people. An Aquarius will get that. Social awareness, you're very aware. But once again, you think like this. You think like, what is good for some may not be good for me. I'm okay with, you know, you can be very individualistic in your thinking, which is good. Also, humanitarianism. You'd like to be, you are humanitarian. You might give a lot. You may be involved in a lot of different causes, and you also try to get other people around you, friends, family, everybody, get into this. Okay, I know I do that. Anyway, very aware. I think you're getting to a place of understanding that friends come and go, that you'll always be making new friends, because the 3s are talking about creation. Okay, so you'll always be recreating maybe your friend group. For some of you, it was hard, or it's hard, because then your analytical mind goes to, well, this person's known this other person for 25 years, and I have all new friends. You know, what's wrong with me? It might just be that in this lifetime, you are going to continuously recreate your friend group or groups. Everybody needs a little piece of you, Aquarius. Technology. You could create technology. You could be one who's very technically astute. Not me. You create technology that connects. I want to say connects people. Connects. It connects. It helps to connect. Your hopes is just to have a trusted friend group or group. You want aware friends, people who are aware, who are woke, I guess, if you will. The future, the Three of Cups. You want to always be recreating yourself, redefining, redoing. I think a fear is getting stuck and stagnant, being dated, being outdated. Very good, very good in your 11th house. Let's jump into the 12th house. So the 12th house is the Six of Cups. Wow. Scorpio energy here. Six of Cups. The 12th house talks about endings, healing, closure, spirituality, solitude, karma, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, limiting beliefs, and your subconscious. Okay. It's so hard to say goodbye. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I think Aquarius goes back into that analytical space of, well, what could have happened? Well, you know, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And that's why it becomes so hard for you to say goodbye. So hard for you to walk away. You need to always be understanding that with an ending comes healing and closure and a new beginning. Spirituality is definitely a big part of you, Aquarius. Solitude to an extent, so that you can clear energy and clear your mind so that you can create. And then you go back into the social setting and you present. So solitude is necessary for you to continue. You're one of those people who cannot always have company. Like, you need to go home, you know? And it's no hard feelings, but you've got to go. Some of you looking forward to your old age. You just want to be like a sage, a person full of wisdom. Some of you are gotten to a place where maybe you were in the beginning, you were afraid of what the afterlife brought, but now you're at peace, you're at rest with the afterlife and what's hidden. Okay, you're okay with not knowing everything, but you need to know a good piece of it. That's the Aquarius. You know, I know the affirmation of the Aquarius. So you do need to know, but it's okay if you don't know it all, but you need to know. Limiting beliefs, it might come from Aquarius might always be asking, well, what am I giving? What service is, what am I servicing? Who am I servicing? How is this working for me? And if Aquarius doesn't feel like they're going to be of service, or it's not useful, or they're not useful, or it is not useful, then there comes that limiting belief. Sometimes the Aquarius has to be able to pinpoint. Aquarius is a good Samaritan, and your karma, for the most part, you know, most of you is good. You always want to be the one saying, at least I tried, I did good. Subconscious is always speaking to you and making sure that it ended well, or if it ends, there is closure. One thing about the Aquarius is, yeah, we can end some stuff and we'll end some shit real quick, okay? But then we'll also go back on it and start thinking about it, and we want to make sure that the door is really locked and closed, especially if there were feelings here. The nostalgia can get to us. You have to have made a really big impression for us to go backwards and really mean it. Because let me say this, we'll go backwards and it might just be to test the waters, so we're not serious, so we don't care if we get rejected or you accept it or not, because we weren't serious in the beginning. But the Aquarius, a person that really was a staple in their life, or made up of an impression, or they feel like they made an impression on this person, before we can actually move forward, like really, really move forward, we have to make sure that it is really done, it is really closed, because we don't want the door to still be open and this person come and disturb. Don't disturb us, especially when we have moved on and we thought the door was closed. So Aquarius really has to get comfortable with either having no closure or really closing the door and healing, not glossing over, but actually healing. In the solitude, what are you doing? What are you creating? What are you recreating? How are you recreating yourself, healing yourself? Listen to your subconscious, because it won't steer you wrong. Very, very good. My battery is dying on my phone. So I hope that you took something from this reading. If you want to get a reading like this for yourself to see where your own about your own self and your own houses, send me an email. I might put it on the website. I don't know. But if you want this, take advantage of it. Thank you, Aquarius. Many blessings.